Hello YouTube, cheers, Louis J. DiPaolo Jr. Raw Thoughts vlog, May 6, 2019. Making some coffee right now. Helps get it going. So I want to talk about, I'd like us to talk about the harm of free money. I think that's an interesting topic. The harm of free money. First, I'd like to say, I was out in California visiting family. Beautiful experience, beautiful experience. There's mountains everywhere, you know, big hills and mountains. It's gorgeous. I'm not used to that. Born and raised in Florida, then I moved to New York City, so, you know, I'm not looking at mountains. And to just like drive casually through the neighborhoods and mountain. It's all I can think about are the mountains. It's gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. All things considered, I'm still an East Coast kid. This is where my heart is. The harm of free money. I was on the phone with a friend who was giving me some good life advice. Shout out to Nick Bierfado. Really wise man. And he was giving me some good advice. And one of the things he was suggesting to me was, he said, well, have you written your goals? I'm thinking to myself, like, no, I haven't written goals in 2 years. And honestly, I haven't written goals in 2 years. And he said, well, I suggest you start with a 30, 60, 90, and then your annual goal, and then maybe like a 2-year goal or something. But write the goals and read the goals. And I did that, and I'm feeling a lot better now, because I can't explain the feeling, but it just felt like I was drowning for so long. I mean, my last video is kind of about that too. That feeling of, like, you know, you're going nowhere, you're trapped, you're drowning. I've been experiencing that for a while. So goals are a cool way to counteract that, because it's kind of like putting a ship in motion. You know, you're moving towards a direction, and when you write the goals, you determine what's important. Okay, what am I trying to get done in these next 30 days? Then you can break down doing it. So at least, hey, if you're not doing something, not even productive, if you're not doing something to your ultimate benefit, at least you're moving in a direction, and that feels a hell of a lot better than just treading water, which is how I've been feeling, like I'm just treading water, trying not to drown. Alright, so shout out to Nick Bierfado. If you like listening to things that like, you know, really inspire, make sense, he sent me this, and I didn't get it the first time, I didn't get it the second time, I didn't get it the third time. It's like my 5th time, I still don't get it. But it's just really inspiring to listen to. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. It's about like a 28-minute podcast, I guess. Old, it's very old. And just listen to it. And as Nick told me, believe every word. You listen to it and believe every word. And boy, it's helped me so far. That's kind of pushed me to get the goals going. Anyways, so the harm of free money. I'm releasing the documentary for the intro project we did. I'm releasing that this summer, so on the 2-year anniversary. The intro project was a hip-hop mixtape that we created and put out and released, with the goal being to feed 1,000 homeless families and children in New York City, and we did that. I think the total was like 1,156 or 65. I'll have to look it up. I have the stats somewhere. And we did that, and that was awesome. But, you know, you being in New York now, that's 2 years from this, okay? I did this right when I got to New York. Let's do it. 2 years removed, I've had some time to think and observe. And I have my stance and my position on homelessness has changed completely. My stance has changed. And how much time do we have? We have time? Sure, we got time. It's the Raw Thoughts vlog. In a short sense, I now consider homelessness, or giving money to the homeless, I consider it a sales pitch. Because there's no other option. There are homeless people, especially in New York, and I'm sure like San Francisco's got to be bad too. But, I mean, you see it everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So I consider it a sales pitch. If you can say something, and I don't have guidelines, right? I'm just playing by the emotion. I'm not going off the guideline. But like you can't just give money to every single person asking you for money. It's just not efficient. You can't do that, and you're not really even making a dent. Like you might feel like, oh, I'm helping people, but are you really? Which is what we're going to talk about. Really quick on the homelessness. So my stance is it's a sales pitch. If you can convince me to give you money, then I'll do it, or give you food, a hug, whatever you need, I'll do it. I think the worst sales pitch I've received are people just saying like, hey man, like, you got spare change. To me, that's the worst. You got spare change. Because sometimes you do have spare change. You have a couple like nickels and dimes and you give it to them, and they act like you just slapped their mother. They're so insulted. You asked for spare change. I'm giving you spare change. To me, the best sales pitch I've received so far in New York City. I was talking to a nice pretty lady. Her and I were on the train together at this time. And this guy came in. I will never forget this. This guy came in with a tinfoil cape. Okay? Short little guy, tinfoil cape. He like twists his top hat around and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen of the New York Transit." And he just gives this epic monologue on par with Shakespeare. Epic monologue about how he is an alien sent down from Earth to impregnate New York's most beautiful woman, and this and that. And then he just whips out a saxophone and he gets on his knees and he's just rocking out in this like most epic sax solo you've ever heard in like 30 seconds. And it was so crazy. It was crazy. It was random. Nothing you wouldn't expect in New York, but it was so funny that guy earned my money. He went through all of this trouble. He had a tinfoil cape. He prepared a monologue about being an alien. He played saxophone. And then afterwards he says, "I'm looking for a couple, I'm trying to get something to eat. Anything helps." And I said, okay, like, that guy made me laugh. That was funny. That was a sales pitch. That was good. He caught my attention. Saying, "Hey man, you got a couple bucks." It's a take it or leave it. It's not like there's anything wrong with it. It's just a take it or leave it. So, the harm of free money. I see a lot of people. I was watching this guy on YouTube, David Dobrik, and like a common theme in like videos I see now is like, I'm gonna give away like $20,000 or $40,000. Oh, $10,000, $20,000, and he's like giving away money because it's perceived that you're doing a good thing, right? Like, who would say that's a bad thing? You're giving somebody money. So I'm not going to argue it's a bad thing philosophically. I'd like to argue that it's not a good. It's not a good. To give people free money, it's not a good. I can't prove to you that it's bad, but I can prove to you in these quick minutes that it is not a good. The harm of free money. So, if something is a good, philosophically, let's define this. If something is a good, there should be no limit to the amount you can receive that would contribute to your overall benefit, right? You could receive as much of a good as possible. The more of this good you have, the better off you are. The less of this good you have, the worse off you are. That is a good, as we are defining it philosophically. An example, good health. Good health is a good. Now, not just health, because what is health? Good health is a good. Having good physical health, good mental health. The more you have of good physical health, good mental health, good spiritual health, the more good health you have, the better off you are. The less good health you have, the worse off you are. And to me, that's not really debatable, right? Like that's just a baseline for our conversation here. The more good health you have, the better off you are. The less good health you have, the worse off you are. Something like money. Here's why I argue it's not a good. If you are dead broke and you can't pay your rent, you're eating out of a trash can, and somebody gives you enough money to cover a year's worth of rent, that very well might be to your benefit. That might contribute to your overall cause. Having that might be a good for you. But it is not objective. It is subjective, and it is only for that short time. We don't know at what point do you cross the threshold from help to harm. Because if money were truly a good, there would be no amount of money you could receive that would harm you. Right? Every dollar, every cent you get. If you have $10 to your name and I give you a penny, you should be better off than the person with $10. If you have $10 billion in your bank account and I give you a penny, the person with $10 billion in one penny is better off than the person with $10 billion. And that's not always true. You and I know that that's not true. There is a threshold to where having some money is better than having no money, right? But having more money does not always equate to more benefit holistically. So there has to be some cutoff. And I argue philosophically that we don't know what that is. Now, there are people who say, like, economists say, I think it's like $75,000 or $85,000, that if you have that, if you reach that threshold, you should be able to support a family, live a good life in America, and anything above that is considered excess. So, making sure we're good on time. That is not talking about good, that's just talking about sustainability. Good, right? Again, like good health. Being in good health is never a bad thing. You can never have too much good health. The more good health you have, the better off you are. The less good health you have, the worse off you are. So what I'm arguing is we cannot prove that money is a good, just in the way that good health is a good. You can't prove that money is a good. Or else there would be no amount of money that I could give you that would harm you. I could keep giving you money and you would keep benefiting. Then to look at examples, explain to me how lottery ticket winners, which by the way, most people who are participating in the lottery, buying scratch-offs, you see it all the time at the bodegas, right? People take, they have no money to eat, and they're taking the $5 they have, and they're just buying scratch-offs. If you just save that money, if you just took that $5 and put it in a rubber band and throw it in the corner of a room and don't touch it for 10 years, that's better off than trying to buy scratch-offs and get big. The lottery is designed to take money from people who really need it. And the sad thing is the people who need the money are the ones willing to gamble it. Getting off topic. Point being, lottery winners are notorious for ending up as drug addicts, ending up in jail, ending up dead, or ending up broke because they weren't ready for that lifestyle change. To have $1 million, it is a lifestyle. It is a way of managing. You are essentially taking something and you are scaling it to a macro level. And when you're not used to that, it can be to a harm if you're not ready to take on the responsibility. Because like having a child, like having a dog, money is a responsibility. The more of it you have, the greater your responsibility. So you can't expect that giving money is a help to somebody. It could very well be a harm. And that's what I'd like to argue, is because if money, as we said before, if money were a help, then there should be no limit of there should be no limit of money that you could give to somebody that would harm them. It should be just infinite benefit, which we know it's not. We know it's not. So if it's not the case, then you give someone money, but you're not giving them help. Right? Philosophically, it's not a good. So it could be a neutral, it could be a harm. Maybe it's a good to some threshold and then it becomes harmful. Who knows? My point is, because we can, kind of like process of elimination, because we can eliminate the fact that free money, giving free money is a good, that's not that. I'm not trying to define what it is. I'm not trying to say it's a bad. I'm not trying to say it's a neutral. I'm just saying it's not a good. That means it has to be something of these other choices. So, you give someone money, like this guy on YouTube, $20,000, $40,000, and like everybody on YouTube's doing it. Oh, I'm gonna give like 10 grand to a homeless guy. Yeah, like I get it. I get the intention is good. Make sure we're good on time. I get the intention is good, but I'm arguing that you're not helping them, because, as we just said, it would have to be consistently to the benefit of the receiver, which it's not. It's not. It could be benefit to some level, but we don't know what that is. So I'm arguing that you're playing with chaos, right? You don't understand it's like giving someone medicine and not knowing what it does or how it works. Just saying, take this pill, take this pill, take this pill, but you don't know what the effects are. You don't know what is in that medicine. You don't know exactly what you're doing. So you give the pill to person A, B, and C. Person A, it might help. Person B, it does nothing. Person C, they end up dead. Who knows? You give your friend's mother 20 grand. Is that going to kill her? Is she going to end up a drug addict, end up in dead? No. But there is a consequence, right? With every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You can't just give someone free money and expect a true benefit to come from it. It's a hard thing, because you get to a point, as I'm sure, I'm not dealing with this right now, but I'm sure at some point, maybe my life changes and I get to that level where you have so much money and you can see people that you want to directly impact, so you want to help them. I'm just not sure you're doing any help. It's very likely that you're harming, but I'm not going to go there. I do not wish to define what free money is. I just wish to define that it is not a good. So, hey, at what level are we helping? What level are we harming? I'm not here to be the judge. I'm not here to be the jury. I would just like to be the distinction that free money is not a good. It's not a good. So that's something to think about. Take this thought, maybe something about goals or money, or if you know something about California, I'd love to talk about it. Comment, please. That's what I like. I would like for us to build a community, right? Comment in the raw thoughts, because of the videos I make, raw thoughts are what I get the most feedback on. Raw thoughts are what I get people texting me and calling me and saying like, hey, I saw what you said about this. What do you think about this? And that's cool that like we are engaging each other's minds. I like that. So comment on the section, the YouTube section, and let's create a conversation. What point do you think money is a help? Where is that threshold? Where is that cutoff? Let me know. DiPaolo Jr. I love you. Have a good day. Good day. Good day. And if I do have the time, my 30-day goals is to put out 30 Raw Thoughts vlogs. Why? Because I can. I have the time. I can afford to do it. 30 days, 30 vlogs. That's my goal. Love you, DiPaolo Jr. Appreciate you. Stay smooth.